Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working our way through The Rape of Lucrece, which, content warning, is about sexual violence towards women, so if you need to tune out, please do so. But if you want to hear today's stanzas, we're going to take a look at stanzas 101 to 104. And we are at the point in the play where the deed has happened. He raped her. For all of the build-up to it, we took, 96 stanzas to get there, and then in 2 stanzas, the actual act was over. And now we're going to have a bajillion stanzas to deal with the repercussions of it, which is maybe, appropriate for how one deals with rape. There's a lot that goes before and then the actual deed and then, everlasting repercussions. And that's sort of what she was leaning into as she was pleading for him to not do it. And he's like, you know what, I already thought about all that stuff and I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. So he went ahead and did it anyway. But like the instant the pleasure was over, he started to remember that, oh no, I'm going to have to deal with this for a while. And uh-oh, I've made a huge mistake, sort of. And stanza 101 picks up there saying, "Oh, deeper sin than bottomless conceit can comprehend in still imagination. Drunken desire must vomit his receipt ere he can see his own abomination. While lust is in his pride, no exclamation can curb his heat or rein his rash desire, till like a jade, self-will himself doth tire. And then with lank and lean discolored cheek, with heavy eye, knit brow, and strengthless pace, feeble desire, all recreant, poor and meek, like to a bankrupt beggar, wails his case. The flesh being proud, desire doth fight with grace, for there it revels, and when that decays, the guilty rebel for remission prays. So fares it with this faultful lord of Rome, who this accomplishment so hotly chased. For now against himself he sounds this doom, that through the length of times he stands disgraced. Besides, his soul's fair temple is defaced, whose weak ruins muster troops of cares to ask the spotted princess how she fares. She says, her subjects with foul insurrection have battered down her consecrated wall, and by their mortal fault brought in subjection her immortality, and made her thrall to living death and pain perpetual, which in her prescience she controlled still, but her foresight could not forestall their will. So this is starting to dig into the consequences of his actions, saying, desire, which had been fueling Sextus Tarquinius this whole time and, urging him through all of the signs that maybe he shouldn't go through with this. Desire was the one that was feeding that, but instantly desire is made feeble and made weak and ineffectual and has to fight with grace, which it's never going to win against grace. So whoever it was that was so fueled by desire really just now gets to drown in their own guilt. And that is exactly what is happening to Sextus Tarquinius right now. He's, he wanted this thing so badly. He wanted her so badly. And now he's like, okay, so I did it. And now for the rest of my life, I will have done it. And for the rest of history, I will have done it. And it sounds like at the end of this third stanza that he maybe actually even turns to her and says, "How are you?" Because the last stanza focuses on her and how she feels about this whole thing. And she compares her physical/mental state to having been destroyed in battle, to having her walls completely knocked down, and now she's being held slave to pain and suffering for the rest of her life. And she knew that this was going to happen, but she couldn't stop it from happening. So that's how she's doing, and it's because of him. So Yeah, not very good consequences there. So I would recommend, if you're considering doing these things, don't. Maybe stop and listen to the conscience and pay attention to all of the signs saying that this is a bad idea and you shouldn't be doing these things, instead of, just going ahead and following your desire, because this literally went from he's super crazy horny to he rapes her to, oh my goodness, now I'm going to be remembered throughout all of history as this man that did this thing. And she's going to be saddled with pain, and he calls it living death and pain perpetual is the end result for her from this whole thing. So but we're not quite done yet. We still have, I want to say we're maybe halfway through the play, or not play, maybe halfway through the poem. There's still plenty of stuff dealing with the repercussions of this that we need to get through. So please come on back tomorrow for more, like I know Frolic is going to do. Hey Frolic, how you doing? And yeah, if you've got some comments, thoughts, whatever, please leave them in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.